We're on. We're live. Here we go. It's happening. Welcome back to the vinyl collection. I can't remember what we're calling this. Looking through the vinyl shelves. A little 2-hour live chat where we talk with you guys in the chat, and we have vinyl experts on the show, and we're basically going through our record collection one by one, seeing what's there, seeing maybe what we can get rid of, seeing what might be embarrassing or what we're proud of. It's very exciting. Today, I have a diverse lineup. I don't know. There's going to be some new stuff. I'm going to open up new stuff, new old stuff. I'm going to dip into the Grateful Dead today. Not all of it, but some of it. And some other interesting things we're going to see along the way. This, of course, is a live chat. So you want to chat in the chat, we'll be there to answer your questions or talk to you. And if you want to get in the show, there's a link at the top of the chat. If you want to actually get in the show and pop in and say hello, we'll be more than happy to welcome you on board. Like I said, we're just going through our records. I've been through the entire from Z all the way down to A. Now I'm working through my recents pile and stuff I haven't put away, which is still significant. So lots to go through, as well as my big artists, which don't get put in the A to Z sections. They have their own sections, which I think I'm going to change. I don't know. I'm going to have to ask your advice about that later on. But enough of me chatting. Let's bring on the rock stars of this show. Our big guests are here. The regulars, the vinyl pundits are here. We have Matt Bandy and Kevin, Buried on Mars, from YouTube's #1 Blu-ray channel. Matt Bandy, you're playing with your toys.
Hello. Oh, you know. I am playing with my toys.
Well, we can hold off talking to you for a little while longer if you wanted to do your full Star Trek thing. It's fine.
No, it's okay. This is more important. It's more important.
Okay, good to hear.
I got to find some way to inject a little Star Trek into every conversation. So,
absolutely. Kevin, how are you doing, my friend?
Super fantastic. Excited to be here. I'm missing the Super Deeks and Mike Ladano show right now on Facebook. For this, so this is a big sacrifice for me to be.
We're competing with those guys.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I'm not too confident we'll have too many viewers for this episode.
We already have 2. What are you talking about?
They were up to 11, so they hit the Spinal Tap 11.
My God, like we had this booked for a while. Like, is it maybe a little bit rude that they book theirs at the same time?
No, that's a regular time slot. They've been doing the Friday nights for quite a while now, so we actually intruded on their time slot. Yeah.
I apologize. Well, Kevin did not let us know about that, and I'm not on Facebook.
Honestly,
except for coupons. So I
forgot.
That is purely Kevin's fault. And we're also lucky this week. It's going to be a huge show because we can add a 4th member to the broadcast. Are you guys ready for this? You hold on to your pants. Hold on to your butts. Here he is. The infamous Chris Roberts.
Hey, there he is.
What's going on, guys?
Nice.
Like
in the headband.
I didn't hear you, so did I miss something?
No.
Oh, I said I'm liking the headband. God damn it.
Matt Bandy is commenting on your headband. Can you not hear him?
Wow. That is some
off to internet. A good start.
Some internet.
Off to a good start. Well, we are talking to you, Chris Roberts.
Is he frozen?
I don't know. I hear you guys now. It sounded like a lot of robots. Was I the only one getting a bad signal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That's your swap shop modem there.
Well, I can call back in a couple minutes. Let me switch. Get closer to the Wi-Fi. I'll call back.
Sounds good. He's out. Just like that. Got rid of him.
Wow.
Am I coming through okay for you guys?
I hear you.
Bill just left.
Okay.
I guess it's our show now.
Sorry, I forgot the thing
Well,
to start
let's
the
be
show
honest,
with.
Kevin. It's always been our show.
Oh man, look at that! Leave for a second and thrown under the bus.
Isn't it weird how Chris Roberts' connection was better when he was walking around San Francisco last week? It wasn't his own basement.
Well, we hopefully can have him for the whole 2 hours. I don't know. We'll see what the connection's like. But I did want to start this week. We do normally, I start with something that's not necessarily a record or music, something that's related to it. And today I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to start. This is a record though, but it is a Ampex Stereo Performance Evaluator. Test your stereo system. And French side over here. It's from 1979, Ampex, and it says limit 1 per customer. So I don't know if they gave these away or something, but it's like a 45, but it's not played at 45. It's a 33 1/3. So it's a room acoustics speaker calibration, play along. So there's a narrator on here, and he'll explain what each test is, and then they'll play the test, which is usually test tones, or they do like bass cannon stuff, so go all the way down the frequency scale and then brings it all the way back, and he'll say if your speakers start crackling at this time, then your speakers aren't quite up to speed, or they do out of phase tests on here. There's like 9 tests on this thing, and it's pretty neat. It's good to put your speakers through it, see what kind of how good your setup is. So yeah, I don't remember where I found it. Yeah, I have used it. Yeah, the speakers down in my basement did not pass the bass test. They started crackling, but I haven't tried it upstairs. I did. That's a big announcement for me. I finally added my another record player into my living room setup. So that was a long time coming. It was absent from the living room for a long time. A lot of cables had to move around. It really drives me bonkers if I can see cables hanging in behind my components. So I add too much stuff, it drives me crazy. And some components I can't move very far because they only have so long of a cord, right? So yeah. Hello to Denise, who's popping in the chat. She's a recent subscriber to the channel. It's good to see her stopping by.
Hello.
You got the Matt Bandy wave right there.
So the test record there, Bill, does it give you, or does it tell you what to do if you don't pass the test? So does it give you advice on what to do to your setup, or just buy some new speakers from us?
Yeah, the bass test like that, when it goes all the way down through the frequencies, there's nothing you can do about that. But he does an out of phase test when he tells you how to fix the out of phase, which is basically you have to change the wires from that to that, and they'll be fine. And he tells you what to expect if you're hearing it wrong and what you should be hearing. It's neat. Yeah, I'm sure you can find versions of this on YouTube all over the place. Little test patterns. I don't know how that'll help you with your record player, but if you want to hear what it's like. So that's my first thing. And onward to Matt Bandy. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring for us this week.
Sure. So I got a couple records that aren't necessarily music related. I don't know where these came from. I think my mom gave me these records along with some of her my parents' old collection last time I was home. But I think these came from my mom's best friend's kids, and I'll just go ahead and show you here. So it's a audio record of Spider-Man.
Oh man, I want that.
You guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, I want that so bad. I'm
Okay,
just in
cool.
awe, man. I'm in awe.
Yeah. I think this
artwork
says
is
it's
great.
copyrighted 1974. Marvel Comics. Yeah. And who's that? Dick? Is that? I don't know who the artist would be from this time period, or if it's even like
Looks like Kirby.
an actual Marvel artist. Yeah, it does kind of, huh? Is that the time period that he was doing this stuff in the 70s?
He would have been earlier, but I don't know if he's still doing the 70s. Not sure. But it definitely looks Kirby Spider-Man.
Hmm.
And it's full size.
So,
It's great.
yeah. So full disclosure, this is not, and this was not cared for by me. Okay. So there is no sleeve, and we're getting into some severe Bill territory here.
You're going full Bill on this one.
And full Bill. I don't know if you can see, but I haven't even tried playing this thing because it looks like the kids who own this probably played Frisbee with it. But it's still cool, to have by just the artwork on it. I might, that's essentially the neat part of it. So there's volume 2. And my other one is similar, but this is a Batman guy here. So it just looks like it's musical stories, and this one, so I haven't listened to it either. But I love the back of the record. I think that's pretty cool there.
Wow. Yeah. See, I've only seen that stuff in like 45 size, not full on LP size.
Yeah, and usually it's tied in with a movie. Like it'll be sections of the movie that'll play down with a bit of narration.
Yeah, this one says This one says 1966 on it, and this one here I haven't listened to this one either because again, no sleeve, not coming directly from my collection, and yeah, this one is just as in bad a shape. So we got Look Out for the Batman, Ho Ho Ho, The Joker's Wild, The Wonderful Boy Wonder, The Penguin, Here Comes the Batmobile, and it's the Batman. The Joker gets trumped. There goes Robin, Penguin Caper, and Battiest Car Around. So there you go.
Now, question from the chat: are you not going to try to play it due to it hurting your needle?
Yeah, I wouldn't even. This thing is so filthy, and yeah, I wouldn't even try it. Maybe if I had a secondary record player, one that I didn't really care about, I'd probably throw it on just to hear what it sounded like. But yep.
Yeah, that's why I have a garage player record player. But Matt Bandy does have a very expensive needle, so I can.
It's a stylus.
Stylus.
Yes.
Sorry.
I don't want the people to get angry at you. Failing you.
Yeah. People want to hear it played out, Matt Bandy. So work on that this week. Get it up on your YouTube action. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see what the main super guest is sounding like now that he's in a new location. Just before we get to Kevin, guys, hold off just a second before we get to Kevin.
Hey, what's up, man?
There he is, Chris Roberts.
Sorry about that.
Hey, buddy.
I did what people refer to as I pulled a Bill, and I had a really bad connection, so I went ahead and fixed that. Sorry about that, guys.
Anyway. We got your Afghan in the shot.
Yeah, it's my grandmother. She actually made this, so props to Pops and Nana for doing that.
I remember that debuted on a previous version of this show.
Did it? Oh, I can't remember what the hell at this point. I don't even remember what albums I showed. So you might get a rerun every now and then. I wasn't as organized as I should have been.
So, again, Matt Bandy was marveling at your bandana.
Yeah, dude, I scored like 6 vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bandanas at the Goodwill. Thankfully, we can still go in as
Yeah,
long as
I
you
had a
know.
little insider, so I knew it was coming.
Yeah. So you know, as long as you wear your, you know, your mask and, you know, social distance and everything, you can still shop at some thrift stores. And I intercepted the guy coming out of the back room. He had him on the cart, and I saw the, you know, the Ninja Turtle logo, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, what do you got there? So I picked them up, and this is the one I like the best. It's got the better color scheme, but these are pretty cool too. So, you know, maybe old Bandy will have one in the mail someday coming his way.
Whoa. Jesus.
They're vintage, 1990. Yeah,
How does
I mean,
Bandy rate?
I can't compete with the flag bandana. I mean, that's pretty dope. But you know, if you maybe it'll be wash day or something, he'll need a fresh bandana. He'll wear one of these. So we'll see.
There you go.
And what did you do to clean that thing?
Nothing. I live on the edge. They're brand new. I don't care. I just throw it right on my head. I don't give a shit. Dude, if this is what gets me, dude, after all the, you know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. I've smoked cocaine before, bro. So come on. If this is what gets me, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I had a good run.
But you said they were new in the wrapper, right?
No, they were brand new. You can just tell they've never been used. There were no wrappers. It was probably something that was just sitting on a shelf at some point, and it's new old stock. But yeah,
Score,
anyway,
as usual.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Chris Roberts is legendary in his thrift and swap finds. He's magical. Has a huge Instagram following.
Yeah.
You know, people say I get lucky, and they're right. I got lucky that I got up at 5 a.m., put gas in my car, went to the ATM, got cash, staked out a location, went there on time, beat everybody else, knew what I was looking for. That is really lucky. Thankfully, I'm that lucky. You know?
I think I hit a nerve.
No, not you. I just say, I get that all the time. Like, oh, man, you're lucky. I was like, yeah, I wish I would have just, you know, I wish I could be luckier to sleep in later, you know, but hey, whatever, man. It's fun. It's, you know what I mean? Anyway, so what's up? What did I miss? Anybody show anything yet?
Yep. We're about to introduce Kevin and his first stuff for the day.
Hey,
so.
Right on.
Yeah.
And now we lose our 2 viewers. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking, Kevin. You're the man, dude.
Well, I got lucky and picked up some things. I didn't wake up at 5 a.m. or anything like that. Usually you guys do some vinyl adjacent things, and you guys went right into the vinyl. And of course, I've got some vinyl adjacent things this time around. So I want to recommend, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the movie The Wrecking Crew. Have you ever heard of this one?
No, but it looks good. So
this is, it's about the studio musicians from the 1960s. There's like, they all started in various ways of getting into music. The one guy, basically the main guy is a guitarist, and he was working on the Ozzy and Harriet show. And at some point during the show, they wanted to make Ricky Nelson a rock and roll star. So that's how he basically got into the music business and started getting into the studio. And these guys really there's one critique I can make about the movie is that there's really, like, they call themselves the Wrecking Crew, but there's no real set who is in it. The movie's just pretty much about all these studio musicians that were in the business at the day back in the day. So they kind of stretch it a little bit about all the projects and everything that they worked on, because it's pretty much anyone who was a studio musician back then seems to be in the Wrecking Crew, but it's still fascinating nonetheless. So in the 60s, it was very a commonplace for the record companies to use studio musicians, even if bands were established and had been around for a while, like the Beach Boys were. They knew that these guys, like, it might take the actual band, you know, weeks upon weeks to put together an album, while these guys could do like 3 songs in a day, you know, because they were just that good. And studio time was at a premium back then. There was only a few number of places where you could record, and it was expensive. So they would get these guys to record the albums for it. And it was like, it was everybody was using, anyone who was like a West Coast band back at the time seemed to be using these guys. So we're talking like the Beach Boys, we're talking the Byrds, you know, like other music artists that you would know that would use studio musicians like Sonny and Cher and Frank Sinatra. But they used like just any genre. It wasn't just rock and roll. But these guys would be involved in a lot of the arrangements for a lot of the songs too, and they never got any credit for a lot of the stuff that they would come up with. Like there's this female bassist, she played on a ton of things, and you know, like she came up with like the bass riff for, you know, the Sonny and Cher song "The Beat Goes On," which is a huge part of that song, right? But a lot of them have a healthy attitude towards it. They were like, you know, they didn't put up any money for the album, so you know, a lot of them felt like they were getting paid no matter what, whether the album was a success or not. They were getting their dough. So a lot of them are okay with it, but some of them are a little bit bitter, you know, that they don't get any sort of royalties or that. But yeah, it was a really fascinating movie. Like, you know, like Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys, he pretty much would use these guys exclusively. After the Beach Boys' first couple of albums, he would rather record with these guys than the actual band themselves. And a lot of times they would use these guys for bands that hadn't actually established themselves yet. It would be just like one guy, like they'd have like a lead singer and they'd have him record the stuff, and this band would come in and record all the backing tracks for it. And then when it came time to tour and actually put the album out, they would just find like 5 white kids that could actually play some instruments, and they would put them as the band, but none of them had actually played on the record except for maybe the lead singer, and that was it. And then some of them would they would go out and tour, and the audience would be like, hey, this guy isn't playing like the song exactly how it is on the album or whatever. There was one guy who would he actually went back to the studio musician, and he got like pissed off because he's like, you play this like nice little classical Spanish piece in the middle of the song, and I can't do it. And everyone's coming up to me complimenting me on how that sounded good on the album. But yeah, then by the this was like, it took place a lot in the 60s and that. And then by the 70s, a lot of bands were wanting to do their own recordings. They really insisted on not having studio musicians in there. You know, as the concept album and full albums were becoming more of a thing than singles and that. So it's really interesting. The one guy, he in the 70s, as they started to move away from doing the studio stuff, the studio musician stuff, he started getting into TV shows, and he was on every TV show you can imagine. They scrolled them by really quick, and movies and that. It's really crazy, but it's a good movie. I enjoyed it.
So that's a movie or a documentary?
Well, documentary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was getting confused.
Sorry to confuse you, but yeah, it's a documentary.
Yeah, I think I saw it on Amazon. I think is where I saw it.
Yeah.
Really good.
Kevin, were any of the Booker T and the MG guys a part of that, or were they involved in the Wrecking Crew at all?
Yeah, some of them were mentioned, but very, very briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's certain musicians that they only talked about a little bit, and a lot of them did movie and TV stuff. The song "Rockin' Robin" with the when you hear that little flute in there. Well, the guy who plays that flute, he also played the Pink Panther theme for Henry Mancini and the Pink Panther. It's all the same guy. They're just cool. Because in LA they would just go to the same people all the time because they were really, really good. And these guys had big, really strong work ethics. They would never say no to a gig. The philosophy was you never say no. You always say yes until you can't say yes because you're booked with too many things. You just can't physically do it. So they were just on everything. The guitar guy, he was on so many albums and that, and then he also did the theme for Bonanza, because they just needed, and it was because they were so good. They were so quick.
That's so cool.
Yeah, they were so good, so quick. They didn't take a lot of time, and they could play anything. It was just any genre. It just didn't matter what it was. So, highly recommend it. It was really interesting watch.
That's always fascinated me. Those guys that like who wrote jingles or
Yeah, I was
like
thinking the same
themes
thing.
and stuff. Like Barry Manilow, he's a guy
Yeah.
that wrote a bunch
Yep.
of those jingles, and that's to me that's more interesting than like Manilow's music catalog.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like,
right.
oh,
It
he
is
wrote
low.
like a good like a good
Like
neighbor,
a good neighbor, State Farm
Them.
is there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh, he wrote that jingle. That's awesome to me. Yeah.
Very neat. Well, I'm itching to see what the yard sale god has lined up for us. So I want to throw it right back to him. Let's see. Chris
Well,
Roberts, what do you got?
Since we're going music adjacent, I did pick up a cool little record cleaner. It's referred to as a disc washer. It's by some brand, I don't know, D4 or something. Whatever. But it's pretty cool. It's kind of neat. It has came complete with all the little instructions and if I can get this damn thing out. It's like a little wood deal. Got the little brush part, but also it's got a cleaner in here and also the little brush to clean the cleaner, which is kind of amusing.
Awesome.
I guess that's pretty standard because the other one I had a cleaner to clean the cleaner type of thing, but pretty cool. The guy had like a lot. I kind of wish I would have got there earlier, but being the way they were kind of with the haggling, they weren't very haggle friendly and they were a little out of range on a lot of items. I actually kind of paid up for that. I paid $10. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it seemed fair.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I also got the little label maker from him this is a pretty cool vintage label maker. It was like 50 cents, so I figured if anything, maybe I could do the math where it kind of equals out somehow. I don't know. But
because of you, I saw one of those at the thrift store this week and I had it. I was about to actually buy it. And I went, how insane am I that I'm about to buy this stupid label maker just because I saw Chris Roberts get it?
I'm telling you, man, I'm having all kinds of fun. It's very fun. I
think it's cool.
You know, yeah.
It goes perfect with your VHS because it's like periods appropriate for that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then like I even put like a little horror tag on the cabinet, cool. Or just doing stupid shit. But what was neat about the yard sale is it used to be a local radio station that the guy must have been broadcasting from his house, and apparently they were a station for I don't know a lot of the 60s, 70s, and 80s kind of era. He must have went a little bit into the 90s because he had tons of CDs. That was all that was left. They said all the vinyl had been already sold before they did the estate sale. So I was kind of bummed on that because considering the age of everything, he must have had a lot of cool stuff. And even like the equipment and all that, a lot of that probably already had been picked through. But it was kind of an unadvertised estate sale. So I kind of stumbled into it. It's usually one of my areas that I like to hit because it's a rich... It's like rich part of town, I guess. I mean, definitely people there have cash, but they're older homes, though. So they're homes that were probably built in like the 70s, early 80s, which is kind of my bread and butter for what I like to collect. They usually have the best stuff in their garages, but it was really neat, man. This one guy, I don't know what all the music was because when I glanced through the CDs, there was a lot of like classical CDs, stuff like that, but and this guy got like 600 CDs for like $40. So, and when I heard that, I was like, damn, I would have bought it just to maybe you can get lucky. It would have been like a little lottery ticket. There might have been something in there, but from what was sitting out, I didn't see anything anyway. But they were just interesting people. I mean, the guy smoked a lot of pot because he had like old pot paraphernalia, like something that you could spin around and the seeds would come out. And the guy was trying to sell it on me. I'm like, dude, pot don't have seeds no more. Sorry. If I go back in a time machine, it might matter, but and nobody's gonna buy this shit. I can't flip it, no, unless someone's just a collector. He also had like a book for making hash, and I was like, you realize like you're wanting a lot, and I offered him a fair price. He wanted like $75 for it, and I looked it up, and I knew I could flip it for about that. So I'm thinking, well, I at least gotta get it for 30. And I was like, I'll give you 30, and he's like, well, I can't do that, and I was like. It's like, think about it, man, because all this information is already on the internet. Someone's already zero they've already copied this and put it out there. Nobody cares anymore unless it's like a hardcore collector. And he goes, well, there was one listed on eBay. And I was like, well, why didn't you list it? It's like, well, I got to make an account. And I was like, yeah, exactly. So anyway, I didn't get that, but I did get the record cleaner, a couple little tiny items. But so that's my first piece. And also I got this today, which is not music adjacent anyway, but a little Walter White figure. So kind of cool. Yeah. His little mask comes off. So there you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, he's missing his little his beaker. The guy think he has it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll look for it." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm not coming back for a beaker, but thanks." It's cool. But
What'd you pay for that?
$1.
Nice.
Yeah, I felt like it was worth it. I don't know. Whatever. Impulse buy.
To keep?
I don't know what it. Oh yeah. I love Breaking Bad. You ever watch Breaking Bad, Bill?
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, see, wouldn't you want to have a Walter White in his meth making outfit?
I mean, sure, yeah.
Wouldn't you? Like, I mean,
Yes.
come on, dude. Why would I sell this? Get out of here with that.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so there's my
Good stuff.
opening offerings. I got to taper them out a little bit. I'm not as deep into the game as Kevin or Matt or even you, Bill.
Mm, I've seen your pile. You've got quite a thing to go through there.
Well, I have a few to show. I actually forgot that I had this other stash off to the side, so we'll have a few albums to go through.
It doesn't just have to be the perfect ones like Matt Bandy brings out, but you can show all of it, all the stuff.
Also, I found this. If you guys want to watch a racist movie with me later, right?
Jesus.
this what's funny is like go back to lists from like even the early 2000s. They talk about the greatest movie of all time. I want to see how many like well-known movie critics are attached to this movie as their greatest movie, and now it's like canceled. Can't like it no more.
Yeah, it's a tough one because it is a cinematic masterpiece. It really is. But I have a poster of it actually in my basement.
Well, you better not look.
I know.
You're gonna get canceled, Bill. You better calm down, dude.
I know. It's rough. He's talking about Gone with the Wind if anyone's listening. However, I will let me take the spotlight for a minute here. And again, thanks everyone for hitting the subscribe button on this channel. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I much appreciate it. And if you haven't noticed, we did crest over 500 subscribers, which is very exciting. So because of that, we have done a subscriber appreciation giveaway is in the works. And there's a video for that. And you're going to get all this music package, like it's worth at least $2 million worth of stuff right here. And even the movie Festival Express is still sealed. Now these are open. These are open, but they are mint as mint can be. That's Bob Dylan Biograph. That is the music industry's very first box set. I mean, no one else had box sets out before this. And Columbia put this out with rare studio outtakes and a huge booklet written by Cameron Crowe. It was quite a scene when this came out in '85. And then you have the Gaslight tapes from '62, and again Festival Express. That's going to be given away, and I think we're down to 2 weeks now. You have to watch this video and leave a comment on the video. Of course, be a subscriber. So look for that video.
I say, Bill, it's about damn time you hit 500.
Yeah, much deserved, Bill. You've been working real hard, man.
Oh, thank you very much.
Should have been years ago.
It's
hard to
we're
believe
going.
that Joe's Transformer channel surpassed you.
Now, like, let's get real here. Okay, let me just take a second. We talked on STC Pod last week how my kid was playing GameCube games, including Animal Crossing, and he was completely perturbed by it and didn't want to hear anything about it. Then this week he puts out a review of GameCube's Animal Crossing.
That's why he didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to use up his material.
Oh my God. Yeah, he came up with it first. Okay.
He's smart,
anyways,
man.
you shouldn't let me go on a tangent like that. let me get back to it. I'm going to start with my first record. This I picked up today at the thrift store. Jeez, too close. Jefferson Airplane Takes Off. This is from '66. This is their very first record. And I went to the area where the vinyl was, and there was already a dude flipping through it. And he was working backwards with his back towards the rest of the pile kind of thing. And I saw this like coming up within his path. So I just kind of went yoink right there. And this was the only decent one. The only decent one there. So yeah, Jefferson Airplane. This is their first album. This is before Gray Slick. So that's, I haven't heard this stuff before, I don't think.
Did they
I got it wrong.
have a female vocalist then as well? Or was there... I honestly didn't know there was anybody before Grace. Like I had no idea.
I know. Let me just switch over to the high class camera here, so we can see there appears to be. I
don't see any ladies.
No, he's
unless that's she. Oh, hey, listen, dude, it's kind of hard to tell. Those are boobs. Yeah, you're right. Hey, dude. It's not my fault.
It does say that what the staff was here. So I don't know. Jack Alex Siney Tolley Anderson, a former folk singer. Her high strong voice gives the unusual quality to the ensemble. So anyways, I was excited to find that. It is in my kind of condition with no sleeve in there. However, it's fine. It's like
it looks shiny.
There's a little something there, but it even has like in the dead wax, I can see where someone actually washed this. I see little water droplets. So someone actually did take care of it.
And is that a thing? You actually put water on them?
Yeah, you can roll it in a solution, right, Kevin? You got one of those.
Yep, go back to episode 1 of the vinyl collection, or episode 2, and yeah, I showed you the gadget that I have that will wash it, and then you put them on a dryer rack like they're plates, and dry them off.
That's cool.
So I do have sleeves nowadays. I don't know, Chris Roberts, if you knew that, but I have new replacement archival sleeves, so that can go right.
I'm proud of you.
Everyone's proud of me for that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's great.
And we will move straight along. I have this Hendrix one, Rainbow Bridge, the original motion picture soundtrack. This is apparently an import.
You just picked that up as well?
Oh no, this is just not been put away. I've had this for quite a while, not been put away. So it wasn't with the Hendrix stuff. This is from Reprise. I think it's a UK edition. Let's see, open the gatefold here. It's produced by Jimi Hendrix, Mitch Mitchell, Eddie Kramer, John Jansen. So that's kind of neat. Some of these tracks are recorded at Electric Lady Studios, which is Hendrix's own studio.
Is that a nipple?
Where's Nip?
Right here. To the right. My right. Yeah. No, never mind. Not in the real pictures, in the cartoon side.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
That nipple? You're going to get an age restriction.
Yeah, and this, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is a conversation between Jimmy and Chuck about something. So
who's Chuck?
Chuck is Chuck. You know Chuck back in the day.
No, I don't recall Chuck.
Chuck Berry?
Chuck says, did you ever have a feeling about being totally out of your body, actually going somewhere, but not taking your body with you outer space? And then they get into it. So I don't know who Chuck is. And Hartley shows up near the end too. Good old Hartley. Yeah, this has a sleeve, paper. It's serviceable. I like this in the dead wax. I don't know if you can make that out, but there is one code and then it's scratched off and they put and stamped a new code right underneath it. It's so weird how that happens. And I'll keep going with you got some Frank here, some Frank Zappa.
Well, chic your booty.
Chic your booty. This was apparently only $13.99 at Woolworths, it looks like.
Mm.
Is that a department store?
Yeah,
An old department store.
that's where I saw my first Game Boy.
Nice.
Blew my mind.
Zappa Records, 1979. Also available on cassette. And what do we got here? So this is actually 2 discs in here. No gatefold, though. You got lyrics. Broken hearts are for assholes. I have been in you, which is exactly what it sounds like.
There you go. Very subtle.
Jewish princess. Yo Mama. This is actually these are big tunes for Frank.
Now that says "Yo Mama."
Yep.
I wonder if he's the first. You think he coined that phrase? That might be the first
79?
print of "Yo
Yeah.
Mama."
Bobby Brown.
That Bobby Brown goes down.
No, I don't think so. Baby Snakes. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one to have for sure. Let's see. I wonder what the records are like here, both in paper sleeves. You guys think I should replace these sleeves, right?
I have no opinion. Are they?
I mean,
do they scratch them, or are they not as protective, or what?
They're not as good as the newer ones that he bought, but you have so many records that have no sleeves that I think you should use.
Just start with them.
Take care of that, and then worry about upgrading your paper ones.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. And, I'll just do one more because these all kind of go together. Apologies for hogging the airwaves here. We have the Monterey International Pop Festival, Otis Redding, and more Hendrix. Check out that artwork. Historic performances recorded at Monterey, June 16, 17, 18 from 67. And it's the soundtrack for the documentary by Pennybaker, I would imagine. Yeah, that was his documentary. It still has its original poly on there. Original sleeve, showing you all the other Jimmy stuff you can get. So this came out after Jimmy's passing. Nice little memorial in this record. So you got Otis on one side and Jimmy on the other side. Yeah. That's a good one. So there's my first 4 batch there. Okay. Also, hello to Low Budget TV in the chat popping in there. How's it going? Good to see you.
That's an excellent name, by the way.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button. All right. We're moving it back over. Matt Bandy started with some very dirty records that he is too afraid to even put on his turntable. I wonder what he's going to follow that up with.
I got some cleaner records here. This is going to be kind of out of the normal from what I usually show, but kind of a mishmash of records here. So first one here is going to be a record by The Ventures Walk Don't Run Volume 2.
That's like my Wheels record, kind of.
Yeah. You guys familiar with the Ventures? I'm sure, probably.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Surfer rock.
Yeah, I do dig a lot of like 60s surf rock and garage stuff, and so this has most famously the Walk Don't Run is 64 is probably their most well-known track on here. They do a cover of The House of the Rising Sun, instrumental, of course. A cover of Night Train, and there's another great song, Stranger on the Shore. That's another good one off of this track. I got this at a garage sale a couple of years ago on Dalton Records. If you're ever out looking for records, and especially like 45s, digging through some 45s, Dalton is always kind of a cool label. They've got a lot of surf stuff on that label, so that's a quality label. But yeah. I think the Ventures are still around, playing shows sporadically. I'm not sure how many of the original members are still in the band, but I see that they at least play here in California. I don't think I'm making that up. So, go on to a band called The Insiders. So the Insiders are a soul band from Santa Cruz, California. I've had the pleasure of seeing this band many, many times. They play in the area quite a bit. This is on this record. This is their first. No, this is their second LP. So their first LP, they had a different singer. They took a break for quite a while and then came back with a different band. And at this point in the band, there was 3 different singers. They have 3 female singers. The first singer was a guy and a girl, but in this incantation of the band, it was 3 female singers. And they had a trumpet player, trombone player, tenor sax, bari sax, bass guitar, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, drums, and keys. So it was a full band. But yeah, this is some good stuff that on clear vinyl.
Clear.
Anti.
So yeah, and the type of soul they play more like northern soul style, and some southern soul, but. Oh yeah, Jump Up Soul. So the Jump Up, this was a label out of Chicago that releases modern soul bands. I think they might do some reggae and ska music on that too. But yeah, this is a great record. The lead vocalist on this, she unfortunately isn't with the band anymore. But her voice she had some pipes, and she was like this teeny thing. But they do a cover of Big Bird, which is a song by that's about Otis Redding that a couple of different artists have done, and I believe it was Eddie Floyd wrote that song. It had to do about Otis Redding, and it's a great song. So yeah. I think maybe some of their stuff is on iTunes, or not. It might be on iTunes, or also on Spotify. But they're an independent band, so this might be a little bit hard to track down. But I'm sure some of their stuff is up on YouTube as well. But yeah, I highly recommend this record. And then I'm gonna show. I picked this one up not too long ago. It's a record with Merle Haggard and George Jones called "The Taste of Yesterday's Wine." It isn't the greatest record. I like both of these guys solo, so I figured, it's them together. I'm sure it's going to be killer stuff. But there's only a handful of good songs on here, but there's a great song on here called No Show Jones. And it was basically, it's Merle singing it, and it's that was George Jones' nickname back in the day. They called him No Show Jones because he would show up to the show wasted and not be able to play, or just he wouldn't show up to the show at all.
Right. Tough collaborator.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably the standout.
I
track
almost
on this
picked
record.
up a George Jones CD, kind of a box set today. It was a CD of George Jones and Friends, and it was 2 CDs worth of him performing with all kinds of collaborators, which
Nice.
I didn't end up picking it up, but I thought, man, it's weird. He showed up for all of these recordings with people.
Yeah. But I think like Yesterday's Wine was a Willie Nelson song. I don't know if he wrote the song. I don't know if he ever performed it, but that's a song. And then CC Waterback. But yeah, a lot of slow jams on this record. But yeah, it's decent. But yeah, thought I'd show that too. This is the last of the country records that I have, and I would like to get more. I've started listening to more 70s country within the last couple of years, and that's something that my collection is kind of lacking. So I'm on the lookout for that.
Well, I do flog the Third Man Records quite a bit, and I'd have to, let you know that their next vault is an unreleased live concert that Johnny Cash put on.
Oh, nice.
I think the Carter family show up. It is dug out of the Cash archives somehow. I haven't read the full story on how they got it and how it's appearing on Third Man Records exclusively from the vault. But yeah, this concert he did, I think it's in the late 70s or early 80s, and apparently he just played like just hit after hit after hit. He was whatever you want to hear in a Johnny Cash concert, he played it that night, and he played it perfectly. And it'll be out in 3 months for vault members of Third Man Records. It's a 2-discer, but there's a video component too in there.
You've talked about this before, where those vault releases, sometimes they will be available to just normal people who aren't part of the vault, but it'll be it won't be the same pressing that you get, or is that not true? You have to be a member.
No, I could see this must come out to wide audience, I would think, at some point, but they wouldn't get, say, the colored vinyl, or they'd get a different cover, or they wouldn't get the movie. I don't know. There'd be something different. The vault would get some kind of exclusivity that the everyday people don't get. So it's another reason to think of joining. Not that I get anything from them for saying that, but yeah, it's good times for sure. All right, Kevin, let's see what get into your records.
Well, before I get into my records, just wanted to mention I actually picked up I actually went back in time and went on eBay, and I picked up a DVD and 2 CDs.
Wow.
I picked up Dire Straits On the Night. I had this on VHS when I was a kid. This was basically the last thing that they ever released as a band, except for 1 CD that I have here. But yeah, this is just a live show that they did in 1992, and I just wanted to watch it again. And believe it or not, it was uploaded on YouTube, like some people had, but half of it was taken down or whatever, or copyright for whatever. And not even the dark web had it. So it was on eBay for $5 shipped. So I said, what the heck? I'll just grab the DVD. And I said, what the heck? I might as well pick up the CD too, so I can listen to it in the car as well. And I was on such a Dire Straits kick, and there was after I bought those 2, there was just one more CD that I needed to complete my collection. So I have every Dire Straits thing now ever released, and the last thing I picked up was Live at the BBC, which came out in the mid 90s. This was the last thing that they did because Mark Knopfler just needed to put out a CD to please appease the record company. And it's basically just them doing the first album live, and then there's one. The last track is "Tunnel of Love." I know you guys can't see that, but anyways, which was from their second album, and it's good. It's just them doing the ripping through the album live. It's pretty good. Okay, I actually bought some vinyl this week because there was a few records that were on my Amazon wish list that I've had on there for a very long time, and they finally went on sale. So the first one is Motorhead Motorizer. This is released from 2008, and I've had it on CD, but they finally re-released it on vinyl, and it dropped in price, went on sale for $20, so I grabbed it.
How did you get it already?
I don't know. I got Amazon Prime, and it's Friday, so I ordered it earlier in the week, and it came here within a couple of days.
Now, do you have any problem with their the way they package the albums? Because I've had some friends that's gotten albums from Amazon, and they got ding corners, and they just they look very haphazardly packed.
I think it depends on the seller, and I'll have the record that I'm showing today that I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
Through the only record I've ever bought through Amazon, but I think it probably depends on the seller.
Yeah, I normally buy just strictly from Amazon unless it's something that I really want and they have it, but I usually just buy just from Amazon.
But even okay, so then the Amazon fulfilled orders, have you had any issues with that? Did you feel like they packed them well?
Yes, packaging was fine. They're usually like these were
actually a record mailer.
These were sent actually. They were like double packed. They were in like one of those cardboard LP boxes, and then it was placed
in one of their boxes.
Yeah, and then it was placed in one of their boxes.
That's good. Then that's actually very good.
I have had though like the record just sitting there in a box, just loose in there. But it arrived fine. There was no problem with it.
So you got lucky on that one.
Yeah. So that was the latest Aussie one, but that's the only one that I've ever had like that. Normally they come in are all wrapped up in one of those cardboard vinyl things. And I do find though, because I do wait for a price drop, that sometimes the stuff does come damaged, but I can tell it wasn't damaged in shipping. And that's probably why there was a price drop on it. Like that's probably why I saved like $10 or $15 because it was a little bit damaged. Probably somebody bought it and said, "Hey, this corner is dinged," and they sent it back, and then they said, "Okay, well, let's just try to resell it at a cheaper price." And when I get it for a discount, normally I don't mind. I'm like, okay, whatever. I save $15 and it's got a ding on it, whatever. But
I've never had them ship me a bad record. It's always in that record packaging, and I've never had it come loose at all. It's always been good.
That was the only one. It was the Aussie one, and I think it was I don't know. I had pre-ordered and everything, so I don't know why it was sent like that. But like I said, it arrived just fine. They had it stuffed full of that air stuff,
airbags.
Yeah, so it was okay. Anyways, let me get to this record. I'm trying to show it here. I got this. I wanted to excite Bill with the.
Yeah.
And you can see they're teaching the band how to play some card game.
You need the Fred Awuga sounds.
And it was brand new vinyl. So you got your lyrics on the sleeve. I'm probably going to I will replace this sleeve so I can keep my sleeve pristine. And
I don't know. That sleeve should be fine. I don't get it.
I'm sure it's fine. I just don't want to ruin it. Right? I want to preserve this.
You're getting into Joe territory.
No, not at all. Okay. First of all, Joe doesn't even have a record player. Okay, step one. Okay, you need to have.
He doesn't have a record player?
No, of course not. You think he actually listens to any of this stuff?
Oh, that's man.
It's what we in the business call a poser. He's a total poser. He collects audio cassettes. Doesn't listen to them. He just has them. That's what he does. I listen to them. Like for instance, I listened to my other new pickup. I've been waiting for this since. Bill and I had seen the Rack on Tours sometime last summer, and the band opening for them was Olivia Jean, and I picked up one Olivia Jean album, and this is the actual album that she was promoting at the time, and it's called Night Owl, And this one finally dropped in price. So I had to wait. I waited a full year before I picked this sucker up. But you were talking about the Ventures or whatever they're called.
Ventures.
This band is really, or she is really inspired by them. Like a lot of their sound is like that surfer rock. If you've ever seen the movie Ghost World, if you recall at the beginning of that movie, it's there's some Indian movie that she's watching, and they're playing like some of that rock and roll with the reverb on the guitar and all that stuff, and they do a cover of that song on here. It's really well done. So
what's the name of the song? Do you know?
It is Jean Pehicano.
Okay.
Jean Pehicano.
Not what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Jean Pehicano. Anyway, it's really good. So it came with just.
Was that released by Third Man?
That's a good question. Yes, it is.
Okay.
And there's the vinyl, brand new. Well, I did listen to it, so I guess it is kind of used now. I ripped through it once, and it did come with an insert, but I didn't put it back in there because I knew we were doing this. So you got the photo of the lady, and then all your lyrics are on the inside. Oh, pretty good looking record.
Yeah, you're really smitten by her.
I enjoy her music. Yeah, it was good.
Does she have any other records out, Kevin, or is that the only one she has?
No, there is another one that I had picked up earlier. I showed it on an earlier episode. I can't remember the name of it, though. Okay, and finally, the one final record that I picked up this week. It's one that I've been waiting for a very long time. I actually just mentioned it in a previous show not too long ago, but finally, AC/DC Black Ice went on sale. So I grabbed it, and I've resisted all week from listening to it because I haven't opened it yet. So I'm going to open it right now. What do you think of that?
Whoa.
Big time opening.
Whoa.
Hit the subscribe button.
Unboxing.
Live unboxing of AC/DC Black Ice. So here
I
we
only
go.
ever claimed that I was going to do that. You actually did it. That's impressive.
That's right. So this is a double, the gatefold and everything. So I'm just going to open her right up. Usually, like on the singles, if it's not a gatefold, I try to preserve the plastic on there. I think, or maybe this is one that, it opens up. So I'm just going to go right in. So here we go. Of course, I got to keep that sticker though. I can't just trash this because you got to cut that out. And you got to keep that. So that's important.
Very important.
All right, so let's see what's in here. So I don't know if you could see it. Yeah, you can see that, right? It says Black Ice in there. Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
Even on the back, it's like that. You can't.
Does it feel different or?
Well, it's what do you call it? Embossed.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the AC/DC's embossed, and the rest is just in there.
Oh, dude, that's bad.
And also in here, look at all that. It's pretty funky. Like it actually shows up better on camera than it does in the lighting in here. Wow.
Yeah, I like that one on the left side. That's good shirt material right there.
So of course the records are coming right out of here, and they're going to go in paper sleeves because you got to preserve this.
It's not going to hurt it to have records in it.
Preserve it. Oh yeah, it's 180 gram too, so they're nice, thick, heavy records. And this was a pretty good album if you listen to it. This is the last one they did with Malcolm Young. The only complaint I have is that it's a little bit too long. It's 15 songs, which I think is a little too long for an AC/DC album. But they're the last ones you got with Malcolm Young, so very angry Angus there. He should be happy. He's got a new album out. Jeez. And there you go. That's the whole thing right there.
Vinyl looks good. Nothing weird about it. No scuffing.
I don't see anything crazy on it. Nothing crazy.
So, Kevin, before I forget, I wanted to tell you I was perusing through records the other day on the internet, and there's a distro I go through called Shadow Kingdom Records. They're out of Pittsburgh, I believe, and in their new arrivals, they have a boot. I don't know if it's a bootleg or like a fan club AC/DC release. It's called the Nutcrackers 7-inch.
Nutcracker.
Nutcrackers, and it says it's a fan club / bootleg, and I'm not sure what songs are on it, but it has a cover, or on the cover it's Beavis, or no, I'm sorry, Butthead.
Well, they did use Beavis and Butthead to open up their last 2 shows. So, like they would run a Beavis and Butthead cartoon at the start of their show. That would be exclusive to like the band. It would be like something like Beavis and Butthead are trying to get in to see the band, and then the ball breaker girl will come out with a whip and whip them away or whatever.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so this says it's a rare copy unearthed from Hell's Headbangers, which is another heavy metal distro. It says unearthed from the Hell's Headbangers vaults. Grab it fast before it's gone. It's like $40 though for this 7-inch. But I thought I'd let you know.
Okay, well, I'll check that out.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you're welcome.
Buy it, Kevin.
Well, $40 American is like what, 75 Canadian, and who knows what the shipping will be.
Yeah,
I tried to buy something today from the States. It was this radio archiving something or another. This body that just archives classic radio shows, and you can order like anything in their archives. So they have like you look up Bob Dylan interviews, and they compile them and put them all on one CD, and you can buy it from them. They'll just charge you, the dubbing fee or whatever. So it's initially super cheap. It's like $18, and then you add shipping. And then once I put in my address of Canada, then they, let me add international shipping to your box. And then these guys charged me international shipping and then still kept on regular shipping on top of that. So,
yeah,
I guess
a lot of
I-
them do that.
now it's
So-
off to the dark web.
this webs or Shadow Kingdom, they do have a better international shipping rates through DHL. But I don't know. So they might have decent shipping rates for you. So
Low budget TV in the chat says there's so many fan club bootlegs out there. Don't do it. I say, Kevin, do it, because I like spending Kevin's money.
Well, yeah, I've been watching a lot of old movies because that's what I do. Because I am, part of the YouTube's #1 Blu-ray channel, and
I heard that.
a lot of the older movies are like Quincy Jones just did a ton of soundtracks, right? And I'm watching this one movie called They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, and I'm really digging the soundtrack. So I try to find like a legit copy of that, and of course, it only came out on vinyl, never came out on CD. So I'm looking up the vinyl, and there's one guy that has it in the States, he's charging $19 for it, only $5 shipping. Okay, that's not too bad. $25 for this vinyl that you can't find anywhere else, until you actually go into the website and it finds out that you are a Canadian. So immediately the $19 jumps up to $28, and then the shipping was $27. So this thing is like double the price here in Canada. It's just we get hosed so bad. It's ridiculous.
Jesus, man. Well, yeah, that's what we have to deal with. However, at least we don't have like secret police running around yanking people off the streets. Anyways, moving on.
Well, before you move on, Low Budget TV says that he's ordered vinyl from Amazon in the past, and stuff has arrived warped, like a vinyl has arrived warped. And I did have that with that Ozzy album. I did get a warped of this newest album, I did come warped, and I had to return it. They were okay returning it, and they gave me another copy. But I don't know if that was Amazon's problem. I think that was a problem with the manufacturer, because it wasn't just Amazon that was having an issue with that album. But that just reminded me of that.
Yeah, that's true. You can definitely have issues coming out of the record plant for sure.
Like you guys had issue. I remember you and Joe bought Pet Sounds, right?
Yes,
And
that's what I was thinking of.
Right. You guys had some issues with that.
I just have to keep it because I think I sent it back twice, and the third one still just had scuffing on it, and like that thing was. They brought it out because it's like, this is the perfect vinyl you're ever gonna buy. You know, if anything deserves perfect mastering, it's this record, and they keep sending me scuffed up versions of it.
I noticed it's on sale right now on Amazon too, but I'm too leery to buy it because of that story.
Well, it'd be a different run by now.
Yeah, I imagine.
That's the 50th anniversary one.
Yeah, it's
20. You gotta have it.
It's 24 or something right now.
It's a good one to have. It's a good listen. I mean,
just
it sounds fine.
money. Yeah,
It does sound fine. It's not
just
nothing weird happening. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. We can go back to Chris Roberts. He's got some exciting stuff for us. He's been patiently sitting there playing video games, waiting for his turn.
No. People keep blowing me up. I put a shout out there for the show on the Instagram or on the Twitter. Also made this little label for Kevin. Look at Kevin. I'm gonna mail it out to you. Look at that. Just for you, buddy.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah, no
way I'd
problem.
be able to make that here myself. By the way, lenses are in my glasses. I do have lenses in there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So you're a blind hipster.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, I thought that's what hipsters do. They wear glasses without lenses in them. I thought that.
Well,
was
the
their
ones
thing.
that can see.
I see.
You can be blind and, or have bad vision and be a hipster as well. There's no rule against it.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Go with this one. This is something I picked up at a yard sale for, I don't know, a few cents. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. No Young, so I'm not quite sure. I guess this was before Young or maybe after Young. I don't know. I forget the way they broke this down, but definitely three different dudes here. You know, I mean, look at this guy. He's all sex roll with his little shirt open. Got the dude with the beanie, and then the dude with the stupid mustache off to the side. So kind of cool. They're all on a boat. I mean, I don't understand what any of that has to do with the album, but it looked cool. And I dig their music, so I actually don't know any of the songs on this, so I'll probably never listen to it. Whatever. And then I don't know if I showed this last time because I did have it pulled, or at least one of the times I was on, but I don't know if I got to it. But the best of bread, and it is a little gatefold here. Can open it up and kind of see what's going on. And these dudes, I mean, look at these guys. They all look like they want to fuck. I mean, they're DTF for sure. Look at these guys. I mean, they got the hair going. This guy's got the unibrow. They don't care. Got the mustache. But it's got some good jams on it, though. It's pretty cool. I mean, it better because it's the best of. Imagine if it was the best of and it wasn't that good. And there's that one. And then also got on the comedy side, I picked this up for 50 cents. But I guess it must have been at the end of its run because, sometimes stores, they'll take stock. I guess either they're discounting it severely or something, and they'll take a little notch out of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see that with various media. Anyway, let's wrap in Ronnie. Interesting story about Rodney Dangerfield. I don't know if it's that interesting, but one time I was playing poker. It was a late night, and I was playing poker, and I was at a pretty a full table, and I was feeling a little ornery that night, and this one guy kind of was getting on my nerves, so I kept raising his blind, and every time he would raise back, I just raised back. Half the time I hadn't even seen my cards yet. I was just really just trying to fuck with him, and he kept folding to me, and finally we got to a showdown. Like he had enough, and then I had the goods that time. I took him for a pretty good sized pot. But I could tell it took a little bit out of him emotionally, so I kind of felt bad. So I bought a round. I bought him one, and we started talking a little bit. And he was an older gentleman, and he kind of reminded me of Rodney Dangerfield. So I don't know. There's something about the way he carried himself. So I asked him. I was like, "Hey, like, are you in entertainment or anything? You kind of remind me of like Rodney Dangerfield or something." And he's like, well, "That's really interesting that you said that," because he was a comedian, this guy, and he was telling me about one time he was in LA doing a set, and afterwards he was approached by Rodney Dangerfield, and Rodney offered him $500 for one of his jokes, and he was saying how, you know, he sold him the joke, and he was just saying how he thought he was like a real gentleman because, you know, he was fucking Rodney. He could have just stole the joke and no one would have known, you know. And I don't know, I just thought that was an interesting story. But and also I got this for $1 today. This Magic 8 ball. Let's see what it says. Will Kevin ever get laid? Oh, it says outlook not too good. Sorry, Kevin.
I'll let Sarah know.
Sorry, buddy.
I'll let her know.
She's off duty tonight.
Yeah. Sorry, man. But I guess that's it for my round. I'm trying to pace myself here. Yeah.
Hey, what happened to Matt Bandy?
Hold on. He keeps playing games with me.
Oh, I see.
Sorry, yeah, for some reason Chris's audio, I could hear you two guys, but I couldn't hear Chris, so I went out and came back in and it fixed the problem.
Oh, you didn't miss anything.
Okay.
You're not wrong.
Ball, though.
Well, we
just
all
catch
went
the replay.
We all went around with our recent pickups here, and no one mentioned that they picked up the new Bob Dylan album, which is available in some record stores, not mine. I made the trip to a record store today, and it won't be available there until the end of the month. But I know some record stores got it today. That's Bob Dylan, Rough and Rowdy Ways. And I was really hoping to show that on this one, but it's not to be. I was kind of hoping you guys would have your own copies too, but guess not.
Sorry.
Oh, man. Just wait until I get to the Bob part of the collection. It's, let me tell you. I don't know. There'll be a lot of you guys playing video games while I talk, I imagine. Hey, big shout out to Rocket Sauce popping in on the vinyl show. How's it going? Good to see you. Now, I did say I'm going to pepper in some Grateful Dead stuff. That is a major part of my collection too. So I'm just going to break it up a little bit and have some in today's show, and there'll be some more later on, rather than have that as one big chunk. So let me get to the first of that and switch over to the big money cam. Okay, so here we go. This was a Record Store Day exclusive, so this is, let me make it big. What year would have this been? I wonder if this was 2 years ago, maybe. This is, get it out of here. This is more live stuff from, where's it from? From Winterland. I was going to say Fillmore, but it's from Winterland from 71, and it's a companion piece to their other live album of the same kind of cover, which I'll show you in a bit. These Record Store Day sleeves or plastic, I don't know if non-dead albums come this way, but it's like Terrible from here. Yours like that? Okay. And yeah, it's kind of handy, but it's just too short to be like a real sleeve. It just ends right there.
I usually just cut half of it, and then I just kind of use the other part as a flap. Like it just flaps over. Like I don't tear it completely off. I just tear off the one side, and then it...
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That's a good idea. Shit. Kevin with the idea. He's an idea man. So there you go. You got that that artwork. Okay, let me just bring it out so you guys can see it. It is a companion piece to this original live album they put out, which doesn't have a title because they wanted to call it Skullfuck. And for some reason, the record label wouldn't let them do that. So they went with no title, and it's often referred to as Skull and Roses or Skullfucker. And it's live shit from 71. As you can see, the artwork goes all the way across. Both sides there like that. And you got the band, Pigpen. And this was the first album where they started to unite the Deadheads and organize the community. And I think this is probably, I want to say, one of the first bands that really united their fan base in this way and organized them. I know you can say the Beatles had a fan club and all that, but this was really the start of them organizing their base to really become a family and follow them around across the nation as Deadheads would do. And so, yeah, they reached out to them, Dead Freaks Unite. And there's the info if you want to send them your info. Who are you? Where are you? And so we got 2 records in here. Can't see my crew. There you go. Lost one.
Here.
There he is. Okay.
Yeah, I had to adjust my signal, so kicked me out. No biggie.
These look good. Side 4, man. Not Fade Away, Going Down the Road, Feeling Bad is the greatest 2 songs on a live album, quite possibly. And if you're a guitar player, you can play along with them quite easily and proficiently, and it's a lot of fun.
Now, have you ever seen them in concert?
I haven't seen them proper. I have seen Phil Lesh, his group, but I miss the Grateful Dead. I miss them.
I did.
I know. I heard your story, and I don't want to bring it up.
I won't bring it up, but I did.
There's the other one. Gets the whole side. Yeah, me and my buddy, we were in serious talks to finally go see them, like to figure out how to find out where they are and where they're going to be. And that was the year Jerry died. And so that's it for that. I mean, you remember how hard it was to figure out how to get tickets and stuff? Like you had to be on the phone, you had to listen to the radio. You know, it was not easy.
That's why you're supposed to go and just sneak in, Bill. Come on. Get with it, bro.
So then we're back to this one. Talks more about the magnificent fall of 71. And here we go. We got plastic sleeves, heavy duty plastic.
So are these different songs? Like stuff that didn't make it onto the original album?
This is all from one show in 71, whereas the first album I showed you is a smattering of different shows.
Gotcha.
But let's see. Sugar Magnolia. Yeah, there are different songs on here. I think Uncle John's band was on the first one. And there's the second album. Turn On Your Love Light. That was a big Pigpen number. He'd talk to the audience and pick people out. You look like you're lonely, sir. Let me tell you how to hook up with someone. And he'd go on a big spiel. All while doing the blues. Low Budget TV, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Speaking of Record Store Day, this was available on Record Store Day last year. And was this, I think I was at a record store like after Record Store Day. This is when I went to Waterloo Kitchener and met up with Derek of Two Dorks. And he took me to a bunch of record stores. And like they had so much Record Store Day stock, they still had stuff well after Record Store Day, which just doesn't happen around here. And this is one of them. And this is something that they give out. This was free with purchase from certain record stores on Record Store Day. As you can see here, this is a free record exclusively at these Canadian locations as part of Record Store Day 2019. So these record stores got copies of this. So it is extremely limited. And it is still quite sealed.
Open
And
it up.
I have not been able to talk myself into opening it.
Let's do it. Come on.
I
What's the show for?
What's the value of it?
Get that knife out.
Yeah, I mean, come on. He opened his ACDC.
Yeah.
This has value. This has value right now. So
Well, then sell it and buy an open one and pocket the difference.
that's right. Yep. So I can't bring myself to open this one. I just can't. No, can't do it. I'd like to, but can't do it. But I will open this next one. This I got at the same time with Derek when he took me around. Curtis Knight featuring Jimi Hendrix
Jimi Hendrix.
live
He's
at
young.
George's Club. Yeah. So I just saw this in a bin with other Record Store Day stuff, and as you can see, it was on sale. And the price wasn't too bad to start with, $37, 25% off that. I think I even reached out to Kevin and said, hey, you want in on this action?
I said no.
Kevin said no. I was surprised. So this is still sealed. But it's time.
Hey, well, break out the pocket knife.
It is time. So, Kevin, do you know anything about this recording?
Nope.
Curtis Knight? No.
No clue. I know that, Jimi Hendrix was a studio musician too, and he would support a lot of acts as their axeman.
So, yeah, I don't think there's any Jimmy particular songs on here.
No, it would be all that Curtis guy's songs.
All right. Well, let's just see. That's right.
So Bill, I'm looking on Discogs at that Rolling Stones release that you have, and the medium price is $7.36.
Come on. Come on, Matt Bandy.
I'm just trying to
extremely
entice
limited.
you to
Wow.
There's one on here for $7.99 Canadian.
Ooh. Where's that
And
website? Send me
It
that
ships
link.
from Canada
All right. Send me that link. I might buy that.
on Discogs.
That's open and trashed.
It says brand new and sealed.
What the? No, I looked this up. It was
Getting called
tracking
out on his own podcast.
very
I'm not
high.
calling them out. I'm just
Exposed.
you know,
Giving him information. I got you.
yeah, but you know.
That is good to know. And it says it's the Record Store Day one.
Yep.
All that. Wow.
He thought he was going to send his child to college on that record.
I did.
Oh yeah,
There's
there's
a few
nine.
for-
There's
there's a-
nine of them. Nine of them
Yeah.
for sale. $7.99.
Oh, dude. You got to open that thing now. Come on.
That don't make sense. That does not. It's extremely limited.
Yeah, limited to anybody who was in a store that day. Come on.
Oh man. Let's check out those uniforms. Chris Roberts, you can appreciate that.
I think I could pull that off. I know
You could
Bandy
pull that
could.
off. Yeah, I might have some of that.
Bandy could pull that off for sure.
What's going on here? Why is
I
that
don't know. I
happening?
don't want it. Well, hey, come on. It's a different time now. We accept that.
Holding hands.
They're ahead of their time.
Okay, let's see here. Got some paper sleeves. Pushing the Hendrix big time.
Of course they are. This had to be early recordings before he was big. I'm sure in a reissued album.
Yeah, nothing fancy, just black vinyl. Just kind of hoping to see some nice colored vinyl on there, but I guess not. Let's see what the second one is doing. It's stuck. Yeah, same thing. Looks good. I'll have to try this out this week, see what it sounds like. Curtis Knight, live at George's Club. Oh, $7, eh?
Just do it.
Something tells me I'm being misled.
Send them the link.
I see one here for $7.99, another one for $10.
All right. You know Kevin wouldn't lie.
$15, $15. This guy wants $29.
All right,
There's somebody that wants
bastards.
$44.99 on it.
See?
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm
Yeah, but
talking
it ain't
about.
sold.
you got to look at the sold price. So last one sold on
Right.
March 20th. But the highest price that's ever sold for on Discogs is $7.36.
Yeah, what did Little Samson go for 1 year after its production?
No, hold on to it then, Bill. Wait 20 years.
Or open that one up and just go buy another new one real quick, and you can have best of both worlds.
Are you going
All
to listen
right.
to it? Are you going to listen to it?
Yeah, listen to it.
If you're not going to listen to it, then leave it. But
Right.
if you
Yeah,
want to
that's a
listen
fair
to
point.
it, if you want to listen
Open
to it, open it.
Those are all good tunes on there.
Yeah, they're doing good stuff here. All right, you pricks.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's the thing about records build is there's not so much like a sealed community for records that I know of.
It would have to be something pretty fantastic to make a difference.
There it is.
Well, too late now.
There it is.
Oh wait,
I meant
that's at $179. I'm sorry.
Oh,
God damn it.
dude.
$799. Oh, Bill, what'd you do?
The decimal point.
What'd
Oh
you
wait, that one
do?
has the blue insert.
Oh,
you guys are bastards.
that's pretty cool though.
Gives you a little
Little insert.
talking about the team making the
Look at that.
record.
You would never have seen that.
Here you go.
Well, unless you Googled it, but
Yeah, the images are on there. They're there.
I bet you there's an
in person,
unboxing.
maybe not.
I bet you there's an unboxing video you could have watched.
Well, now there's another one.
Rolling Stones, the early years. Here we go. There it is.
Nice.
A lot of dead wax. Little small bands. Big
Well, they
dead
were
wax
giving
here
away
too.
for free.
There it is. There's my retirement gone. My kids don't go to college now. Just for you guys.
College is overrated.
There you go. It is.
Woo! I'm all sweaty after that. God damn it. Well, where do I go to next? Matt Bandy has moved around these squares so many times. I don't know where to go. All right. It's up to you, Matt Bandy. Go ahead. Show me your...
Got a couple records here for you. So I've showed this band before. I've talked about them probably at length a little bit, knowing me, but it's Reverend Bizarre. They're a Finnish doom metal band. This is called Harbinger of Metal is the name of this. This is actually an EP, if you can believe this. It's an EP that is 75 minutes long. So it's been called the longest EP ever. Reverend Bizarre is, their tracks are usually pretty long to begin with, but I believe it's an EP just because there's maybe 3 or 4 songs on it. So it's not like a traditional, it doesn't have like the traditional amount of songs on it, but it's kind of hard to think of this as an EP with just the sheer length of this thing. So it's a gatefold with a huge painting here of Thor.
Wow.
Go in there. So I believe this is
really cool.
Yeah, it's from. It says the artist on there. The painting's from like the late 1800s, according to the insert here. If I can pull this out. And the inside is a painting by, I believe, one of the band members from their childhood.
That's great.
Yeah. It's just a double LP on black. And I'm glad this record label, Svart, has been re-releasing their records, because a lot of the original records are long out of print and expensive and hard to find. Yeah. But with most of the releases by them has you okay there? What's going on, guy?
That's Chris Roberts is wrestling his toys or something.
Yeah, he's probably playing with that wrestling buddy I sent him. So you got just a picture of the band on the road there, and the liner notes. I think, let me see here. You got just a little pressing information on here. You got lyrics. Another painting with their "Doom What Thou Wilt." It's kind of their catchphrase, if you will. Okay, yeah, I wanted to read this here. So, on the thank yous, it says, "In Memoriam, Johnny Cash, 1932 to 2003. Rest in peace. The day we entered the studio for the first drum session for Harbinger, which is this record, you traveled to the other world to meet your loved one again." So that was kind of funny that a Finnish doom metal band would dedicate this record to Johnny Cash.
Yeah, he didn't last long after June.
Yeah. Okay, and then I got a couple records by a Fresno band. This was where Chris Roberts is from. I don't know if he can hear me.
He's off camera.
So he's off camera. Okay. So it was a band called Beastmaker. They are, like I said, a three-piece doom metal band from Fresno, California. I've talked about this guy on the show before. Trevor Church is his name. He plays in Haunt, which I've showed a couple of their records and before on the show. I think like I mentioned before, his dad played bass in Montrose. But this record came out in, let's see. Oops. Apologize. I don't know when this record came out. Came out a couple years ago. Anyway, everybody still there?
I'm still here.
Sorry, I'm here.
Okay, sorry. I didn't hear anything. You got the liner notes, picture of the band, and this record is on purple vinyl.
Nice.
Yeah, fancy.
So, yeah, Beastmaker, they play like very 70s inspired doom. I think both of you guys would probably dig this band. And it's very kind of horror themed. There's a couple what is it? Inside the Skull. There is a track or an audio clip from the Abominable Dr. Tibbs, I believe is how it's pronounced. It's an old Vincent Price movie from the 70s. If you've never seen it, it's a great movie. But yeah, very, very kind of horror themed, and yeah, I just dig all the layouts that this band has put out. I think this was their second record, and go ahead and show this is their first record. This was done by Bronca Studios, and this band is really big on kind of the marketing themselves, and like they do a lot of just a bunch of cool like layouts to all their stuff is always really well done, and that's initially kind of what led me to the band to pick this up.
So I should write that one down. Oh, I didn't do that. We lost him.
What?
We lost him. I said, should I write that down? And he said, I'm leaving.
I think it's that
Oh.
California internet. That's...
I think the secret police got him.
Oh, maybe.
Wow. What? Beast? What was it called?
Beast Maker,
Beast Maker. Okay.
not Beastmaster.
I know. I just want to say Beastmaster. Beast Maker. God, my pen is no good. All right. Should we just skip on by over to Caval?
I guess.
Sorry, I could actually hear everything you guys are saying. Sorry about that. Someone was at the door, but I had to step away. I could hear it all, and that is pretty cool. It's from Fresno, and I didn't realize I was making noise. Sorry about that.
No worries.
My bad.
That's okay.
No problem. No problem. We forged down ahead.
I figured as much, but for the people listening, I guess.
Yeah, Rocket got really upset in the chat.
Yeah, I know. He's all pissed off. Sorry, Rocket. That really sucks. Matt fell off there. I'm going to do
He'll
an
be back.
unboxing too, but I'll wait till he comes back.
Okay. Fair enough.
Exclusive unboxing for the podcast.
Is this what just came in?
No. The neighbor
Oh.
I told him to get the fuck out of here. But on the way back, I remembered something. I was like, oh, let me grab this. That might have been some of the noise you heard. And yeah. So I guess my audio was coming through the head. I don't know. The mic
yeah.
was on my headphones or some shit. So anyway, I think it's all correct. You can hear that?
No.
The audio coming
No.
through this? Oh, okay.
No.
I might have to change headphones. You might actually. How does the audio sound? Is it okay? Because it's coming through the headphones, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sounds okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
It's not as bassy and beautiful as Kevin
Yeah.
comes across, but
Wow.
It's kinda
I'm a professional. Oh, there's Matt Bandy.
Ah,
like,
sorry guys.
we got you back. And
What
I
was
wrote
the last
down
thing you saw?
the
You-
first album for Beastmaster.
Beastmaker.
Beastmaster is a good movie though.
It is. Boobies.
Yep.
Yeah, so you were showing that. You have
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and just show it quickly here. And Chris, I was saying this band is from your hometown.
I actually was hearing you, buddy, from Fresno.
Oh.
That's pretty dope.
Cool. Yeah. So this one is also on purple vinyl as well.
Oh,
Nice.
that's fancy.
Yeah. Just another live shot of the band there.
yeah, the artwork, it reminds me of that Uncle Acid again.
Yeah, it's the same record label that put it out. So on Rise Above, that's the same
Right.
same label as the Uncle Acid, and the artist that put together these both of these releases, they do a lot of the work for that record label. So that's probably why.
Yeah, you're going to get me hooked on another artist that I can't get their stuff.
Sorry. So let me show one more here real quick.
Sure.
So you guys, I know one of you, a couple of you will probably recognize the artist who you might not know the band, but you'll probably know the artist. You recognize who did the artwork for this?
It
Anybody?
looks very Metallica
Mm-hmm.
like.
Ah,
So the name of that artist, his name is Pusshead.
Pusshead,
and
right.
Pusshead, yeah, did the art for this. So Integrity is still a band. They're a Cleveland hardcore punk band, but with they've now are kind of more of a heavy metal band. They've been around for ages, since the early '90s.
This was their third release, and this pretty much kind of a huge release for this band. There wasn't at that time in the hardcore punk scene. There wasn't a lot of like metallic influences on some of the bands, but this band here really kind of bridged the gap between heavy metal and hardcore punk, and it was crazy that, like, if you heard the record and you saw these are kids in the band, and seeing kids with shaved heads and camo shorts, you wouldn't think that's the type of music that'd be coming out of these guys. But this was a repress of the record. This came out in 2015 with some just like a writing by Aaron from the band, talking about the record, a little bit of history of the record. Also came with there's more of the artwork that Pusshead did for the release. Just the lyric sheet here. And I believe it's on like a marbly clay kind of looking thing.
Yeah, see the swirl.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a great record. Integrity's still around today, still putting out new records. But yeah, they're the depth and the amount of their releases and the variation in styles of their records over the years has changed quite a bit, but they always kind of remained to keep that. You could tell that it's an Integrity record. But yeah, it's a good record. Humanity. If I didn't say, it's called, the name of the record is called "Humanity is the Devil."
Nice. Hey, if I go back to Beast Wars again, and Uncle Acid, how did you get those records again? How did you get them?
They were both at my local record shop.
At your record shop.
Mm-hmm.
That overseas stuff will never appear at my record shop. Just won't happen.
I don't know if there is like a distributor in the United States. They actually, I think, Rise Above, they do, according on the back of this, they have, it looks like they have an address in Burbank, which is in LA. So I don't know if that's part of the reason why, but they do, the Rise Above stuff does come with usually a little bit higher of a price tag, because it is, good presses, and anytime it's an import, it's going to be a little bit more.
Well, if you see some Uncle Acid come in, let me know. I'm jonesing.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll next time I'm at the shop, I'll look, because they have. I mean, there's a little section for Uncle Acid at my record shop. So. Oh
man, I even asked my record store owner about it, and he looked at me like I was on the moon. Never heard of him. Yep. Yeah. All right, Kevin.
Okay, I guess I'm going to be diving into the collection there. Still going through the full collection. We're in the Bs now, though. And I start off the Bs with the B-52s. Nice. So this is Wild Planet. I'm not sure if it's their first one, but Sarah picked this one up. It was $14.99 on Queen Street. And this one, I thought it was a Remainder album, because it had the punch hole in there. Then on the back, it's got the old promotional copy, not for sale.
Not for sale.
And then it's got the library number on there.
Right.
So sometimes, like, these would be might have been a library, might have been a radio station or something like that, and they would actually. We used to have this at my college. They would actually hook the records on like a ring, and you'd flip through them on a ring, and they would hold on to them like that. It was very weird, very bizarre way to do it. But that's because you'd think like putting them on a shelf would be, but they would hold them like that. And a lot of times guys would take the records out and just leave the sleeve there, so it was easier for them to put it back. Anyways, so I'm not sure if that's what the deal is going on there, but yeah, this is a vintage copy, if you will. This one has pretty good songs on it. Private Idaho, Devil in My Car. Some bigger songs. Got the A&M sleeve on there. Bill remembers that place. I don't. Sold before my time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nice label in there. The B-52s, Warner Brothers. It's a good album.
Yeah, great shape for like an industrial copy.
Yeah.
They mustn't have used it.
I guess not. I don't know. It's got a little bit of ring wear on it, but on the bottom there. But that just gives it character.
Oh, yours with ring wear have character.
Yeah, yours. Well, because the record itself is great. Yeah. Doesn't look like a cat danced on it. So this was a record store day pickup from last year or the year before, and this one is called Macedonia. Mesoto. I don't know what the heck it's called. Mesotopota. I don't know. Mesopotamia.
Mesopotamia?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes,
Mesopotamia.
exactly.
Well, I couldn't read what everything it said.
Why'd you help
P?
him, Bandy?
That's a D.
The cradle of civilization.
Well, I couldn't tell if that was a P or a D. It's very, very hard for. I got dyslexia, man. It's not the easiest. Anyways, this album, this was an EP that they put out. They actually started doing this album with David Byrne from Talking Heads. He was the producer on the album, and they couldn't get along with him. So it was supposed to be a full album, but it only came out. It only ended up being an EP because they couldn't finish it with the guy.
Wow. A lot of people didn't get along with that guy.
Yeah, he wasn't the easiest to get along with, but
He's a hit maker, though.
He was. So this came out in 1982. This is a limited edition of only 3,000 copies. Oh, there it is. It's written right there. I should have just read it from there.
Yes.
And yeah, unlike Bill's, I open it. You know, I open my stuff. I don't care. But there we go. Got a nice blue.
Oh, nice.
Blue vinyl on there.
It's really cool.
What year was that one? That record store day?
Oh,
No,
I think it was either last year or the year before. Can't remember what. But it kind of looks like ice cream. Ice cream.
Lick it.
Some blueberry ice cream.
Like it.
No, I don't need that image going around the internet.
Who would do that?
You. I seen your thumbnails.
Got you there.
Mesopotamia. And then finally Cosmic Thing. This is probably their biggest one with Love Shack on it. This was another record store day one. That's why I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, because this one was last year or the year before too. I don't remember which. But yeah, this was the big multi-seller.
Dude, they must have sold a billion of them.
This one has to be 2 years old because I already have it. I have the insert there, and then yeah, this is your sleeve there. All your lyrics and the vinyl. Another ice cream.
Nice.
One, eh? Isn't that nice?
Trip.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I love that swirl. That's my favorite color.
Yeah.
Color vinyl.
Like a
That's
tie-dye looking thing. That's cool.
Yeah. Pretty wild. And good sounding too. I don't know what it is with the I don't know if it's because so many of the black vinyl we have is older or whatever, but every time you get something like that, you just know it's going to be good. It's going to sound good. And next I got this actually this is Jeff Beck wired. I got this in an old plastic thingy. Never updated plastic on this. I picked this up a long time ago.
What year's that?
Oof, I don't know. I haven't listened to this in a hell of a long time.
Is Rod Stewart there?
No, 76. It's all instrumental as far as I know. And look at this. It's in build condition.
Oh no.
I don't think I liked it too much. I think that's why I just never it still has the old The vinyl itself looks okay, but
I'm not sure I like this connotation of the new hashtag of Bill Condish.
well,
Yeah.
shoe fits. Shoe fits. And then next up is my Beatles, but I think I'll save that for next week because we're running long. So I think, yeah. But here's a sneak peek for the Beatles.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
yeah, yeah. My Beatles will be along some point too, but geez, we go for 2 hours, but we really don't flip through
No,
a ton of records.
doesn't seem that way. No.
I get a giant stack ready, and it barely happens. Okay, so Chris Roberts has been waiting patiently. We have an exclusive.
Well, hold on. I'll do the exclusive at the end. Let me. I'm gonna steal your guys' thunder because I actually had my Beatles albums pulled.
Oh,
And this is what you would call definitely a wall hanger because I mean it's garbage, but
easy access.
yeah. And I'm pretty sure the album's in very poor condition. I don't even know how that. There's a lot of scratches. I don't even know how
Bill,
that's
take
coming
that off
out.
your hands, no problem.
Yeah, but
Hilarious.
it does look really cool, and it's one of my the albums one of my favorite albums is Abbey Road, and
Me
That
too.
is my
Love it.
favorite Beatles.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Beatles record.
I think it's mine too. I didn't want to fully commit to it, but everybody prefer this is the trendy thing, like the greatest album is Sgt. Pepper, and I like this album too, and it's very cool. I mean, it's you got your gatefold, and you got your the famous artwork, but I prefer Abbey Road. And this one is definitely Joe or Bill Condish. There's nothing in here. This is another one of my wall hangers. I don't even think the albums are that good condition, but both of them were $1, and I wasn't gonna leave them behind for $1. And
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm
I
taking
will
medicine.
remember to shut that off sometime.
I'm taking medicine, Chris.
Yeah. And then Rubber Soul's another really good album that I like.
That's my second favorite Beatles record.
Yeah, I really like
Yeah.
this one as well. This got a lot of great hits on it. Not in the best condition, but the record itself is in pretty good condition. And
So just a step
it
above
has-
the Bill Condish.
yeah, it's definitely way better than Bill Condish. But it's not great either. But this one actually plays pretty well. It does have some popping, but it still sounds really good. And that was also $1. The lady she said that someone actually had bought a few others, and and I told her shut up, I didn't need to know that, and I left. But so yeah. And then I'll do an exclusive unboxing of X-Files season or episode 1, the pilot, and episode
VHS?
1. VHS.
There you
Never
go.
been opened. And it actually contains 2 cards, collector's card. They're exclusive just to this VHS. So we will go ahead and open that. And I really don't care if it messes up anything. So as long as I don't cut myself. There we go. So
What was the name of the pilot?
the pilot was just called Pilot, and then the first episode was Deep Throat, or the pilot's the first. I don't know. Some people say the pilot isn't technically the first episode. I don't know. Whatever. One's Pilot, the next one's Deep Throat, and so here we go. And there's the tape, just a regular VHS tape. Came with this little envelope, and of course it's a double opening, so I can actually leave this sealed if I wanted to, but we don't do that on the vinyl podcast. So we'll go ahead and open that up. Fuck it all up. There we go. All right, let's just really rip it up here. I'm gonna throw that over there. And the 2 cards are Deep Throat and Pilot, and I feel cheated because these don't really look like cards, but whatever. Anyway, and a little mail off deal. So-
I hope everyone hit their subscribe button for that bit of exclusivity.
And someone actually wanted $2 whole for this American. I didn't pay that, but that's what they originally wanted. So somebody paid $2 after, I'm assuming someone probably paid $20 for this at one time, or $14.99, something like that. So there you go. You can't see this anywhere else but here. People opening up VHS tapes of the X-Files pilot.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I want to take a minute and welcome Deke to the show. Thanks for showing up, Deke. And I do want to apologize. Kevin failed to mention to us that we would be counter programming to your live show. Apology. We would never do that. But Kevin said we should go on Friday. I didn't know why, but I said, okay. So thanks for stopping by, though, Deke.
Hold on. Did Bill actually do that on purpose? It says sources say yes. So you're lying, Bill.
There you go. Ball
Eight
don't
ball
lie.
doesn't lie. 8 ball doesn't lie.
No,
Eight
I haven't
ball.
got laid yet, so
Exposed.
Well, it's funny. You guys were pumping out the Beatles stuff, and I said my Beatles stuff wouldn't be coming out till later, but one did sneak into the pile, and I'll preview that for, well, this isn't really Beatles, but it's adjacent, and I'll preview that for next week's episode, and it's a good one. See if you guys recognize that.
Butt cheeks.
You don't want to see the other side, let me tell you. Let me tell you. There's some tube socks going on the other side.
Little baby bird.
Yeah, it's wild. It's a wild one. So yeah, that's probably, yeah, we're right at 2 hours, so we might as well end it there. If anyone, unless anyone has something special they want to fit in before the show ends. Anyone? You're all good? We're all good. Okay. Thanks. I just want to say again, thanks everyone for popping in. Especially, I would like to thank the vinyl pundits who have shown up week after week to espouse their knowledge on records and everything vinyl to us. It is much appreciated and the privilege of my life to have you guys here. Thank you very much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and go and check out their stuff. You got Matt Bandy. You can follow him on Twitter. He's over there. He also just appeared on the very possibly last episode of Cartridge Club Portable on the Girlfriend Versus YouTube channel. Check that out. Along with Kevin Buried on Mars, he appeared on that. It's the Girlfriend Versus YouTube channel. The final episode of Cartridge Club Portable. They talk about all kinds of portable gaming. All kinds of it. Summarize the whole thing. And of course, while you're there, you can click over to Kevin's very famous YouTube channel. #1 Blu-ray channel of the community happening. He's got big stuff over there. I got some big Blu-rays coming too, Kevin. It's going to make a run for your money.
I know it's the competition's getting fierce, and it's a little too much for me. I might just have to bow out and go back to doing nothing.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
No, I'm kidding. I still have my music DVDs and Blu-rays that I need to go through. And I just got a big addition to the Burt Reynolds collection, an incredible addition to the Burt Reynolds collection. So
His Playboy, Playgirl issue?
No, that's under my mattress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's well, you'll see it. And then maybe I'll go through the Burt Reynolds movies. Maybe I will. We'll see.
Very exciting. Well, I better get my Woodstock Blu-ray out there before yours then. I got to get that going.
You know what? You can take your time because I don't have that on Blu-ray.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And of course, what would this show be without Chris Roberts popping in? We were lucky enough to have him for most of the 2 hours. Chris Roberts, can find him on. He's a big shot over on Instagram. Go check him out. CWR2 on Instagram. Correct?
Yes, and apparently I'll be having an article coming out on Vice. We'll see.
That's right. Yeah.
It must be slow. They're just tired of COVID talk. They're just like, go out there and find articles, kid.
They wanted you to talk about this show, I take it, right? Explain about the vinyl show.
I started to, and he blocked me after that. So he's like, no, dude, shut up. I don't want to hear this shit.
Yeah. So follow him over at Instagram. Same on Twitter. And of course, he does have podcasts, Dollar Dorks podcast. You can look for that. Hopefully there'll be a new episode of that.
We're in the discussion with someone. We're working on something.
Good
We'll
to
see.
hear. And of course, you know what? I realize all these videos, I never actually introduced myself. I'm Bill. Welcome to the STC Pod channel, the Start to Continue YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter at STC Pod and subscribe to this channel because lots of good stuff coming. More live stuff, more unboxings. And I just did a pickup video, so you're going to see some fun stuff there.
And a giveaway.
Anyway. Oh, the giveaway. Thank
Come
you,
on.
Chris Roberts.
What are you doing?
I'm terrible at this stuff. You can win all of this. This is worth, geez, I don't know, $5,000, something like
Priceless. You can't put a number on it.
It's
All you gotta
almost
do is
worth as much as Bill's Rolling Stones album.
that. Just go to that video, leave a comment. Obviously, make sure you're subscribed, and you get an entry. And if you go to Twitter to the promo tweet I did for that, it's pinned at STC Pod. You get another entry for that, so it's easy. Just go ahead
And a
try it out.
nude from Bill.
Sure, why not? What else do I got going on? All right, guys, thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Who was that?